Hi ladies, it's Doona here again. Thanks for joining me for our prenatal yoga class. So today we're going to focus on building strength in our upper body. We've been focusing a lot on stretching and flexibility, so I thought we'd do something a little bit different. At least for me, I've lost a lot of strength, which is totally normal as we are, pregnant. So just trying to get that strength back. In this video, if you feel like you're overdoing it, as always, please slow it down. We're going to focus on some chaturanga moves. So I'm going to send a link below where you can check out the chaturanga video on the tutorial for chaturanga. So it's going to be a little similar to that. Okay, and let's grab your 2 blocks and a strap and let's meet in child's pose. So just like any practice, always listen to your body. Take as many breaks as you need. I will continue to give different layers and modifications. If any of those don't work for you, you could always take your own modifications. I am currently in my 3rd trimester, 34 weeks, but this class is designed for all trimesters and all levels. So ladies, wherever you're at, please feel free to join me here. Once you're in your child's pose, let's take a deep inhale and a big exhale. Breathe in. Let it go. Good. One more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Then on your next inhale, lift your head, rise up to tabletop. Keep your fingers spread out wide and stack your wrist underneath your shoulders. Inhale, cow pose. Bend your elbows back. Drop your belly. Lift your gaze, open the front of your throat. Exhale, cat pose. Round your back. Tuck your chin towards your chest. A few more times on your own, moving breath to movement. Finding that nice extension through your upper back. And as you round, finding that flexion. So not only warming up through your spine, but also into your shoulders, your arms, hips. Good. Finish off your last one. And we'll come back to tabletop position. From here, round your upper back, just like cat pose. You don't have to tuck your chin towards your chest. And sway your hips side to side. So getting the stretch into your side body, into the sides of the armpits and the arms. Good. All right, let's come back to tabletop position. Keeping your hands shoulder width apart, spread your fingers out wide. Okay, we're going to do something really similar to cat and cow pose, but without dropping your belly and lifting your gaze all the way up. Starting from tabletop, you're just going to drop your chest straight down. So now I want you to focus on squeezing the shoulder blades, keeping the back of the neck long, slightly tucking of the tailbone. And as you exhale, using your palms, push the floor away, straighten your arms, and round your back. Very similar to cat pose, okay? So right here, you should already feel the strength through your upper back muscles. At least for me, I feel in the shoulders as well as the arms. So really straight, active arms here. We're going to do that a few more times. Exhale, just drop your chest, draw your shoulder blades towards each other. And as you inhale, push the floor away, round your back, suck the belly in, draw your shoulder blades apart. Good. Lower. A few more times on your own. You should start to feel your arm muscles, your back muscles, your triceps turn on. The core stays fairly engaged. Okay, let's do one more. We're going to meet in that cat pose position with our upper back super rounded, and you're going to pause there. From there, without actually moving your hands, I want you to drag your hands away from each other, like you're trying to pull the mat away. Holding here for 3, for 2, and 1. If you did that correctly, you should feel your entire upper back muscles start to engage. Woo, that was a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a seat. Just gonna roll out the shoulders. Drop your right ear towards the right shoulder. And then just make some circles with your neck. Go the other direction. And let's meet back in tabletop position. We're going to do something very, very similar to that, but we're going to add on. Okay, so coming back to tabletop, let's take a cow pose. Drop the belly. Lift your gaze. And as you exhale, round your back. Good. So now this time, as you round your back, keep it rounded. You're going to flip your toes and hover your knees. Holding here for 3. Drag your hands away from each other, like you're pulling the mat apart. For 2 and 1. Lower. Good. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Hover your knees. Drag your palms away from each other. Straighten those arms for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Last one. You got this. Straighten arms. Push the floor away. Hover your knees. Drag your palms away from each other. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Go ahead and have a seat. And again, roll out your shoulders. Roll out your neck if that feels good. And we're going to come back to tabletop. Okay, so we're going to add some chaturangas. We're going to start off with chaturangas on our knees. Okay, so coming back to that tabletop position. As you inhale, I want you to shift your chest forward. You might have to walk your hands slightly forward as well. Shift, shift, shift forward. Keep the tailbone lengthened down so you're not arching or you're not over rounding here. So keeping your spine into that tabletop, core is engaged, shift forward, hover, halfway, mid-plank, elbows in, and slowly rise. Good. Lean back, take a breather. Let's do that 2 more times. Stack your shoulders over wrist. Inhale, shift forward, keep the core engaged. Exhale, lower down mid-plank, elbows in. Inhale. Good. And shift back. Good. So this is basically our chaturanga on our knees. One more time. Shift forward, chest past your fingertips. And exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, lift up. And exhale. Good. We call this the Yogi Pushup. Good. Have a seat on your heels. This time, close your eyes. Plant your palms on top of your thighs. Let's take a few rounds of breath here. Relax your face muscles. All right, ladies, let's meet in downward facing dog. Okay, as we go through our chaturanga again, I'm going to demo it off our knees. But if you prefer being on your knees, feel free to take that throughout the class today. All right. Once you're in your down dog, bend one knee at a time. Lengthen your spine. Come back to stillness. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, walk your feet behind your wrist. Either feet hip width, maybe a little wider. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on top of your shin bones. Lift your chest to lengthen your spine. And exhale, hinge from your hips and fold. Option to bend your knees. Inhale, mountain pose. Rise all the way up. Engage your core, tuck your tailbone. And exhale, hands to heart. Samasthiti. Keep your core engaged. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, swan dive. Hinge from your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Create a flat back. And exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back into your first high plank position. Just like your tabletop, spread your fingers out wide. Shoulders over wrist. Lengthen your tailbone towards the backs of your heels. First chaturanga, we're going to do the same thing, dropping to your knees. Inhale, shift forward. And exhale, lower down mid-plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Straighten your arms. Lift your thighs. Press the tops of your foot down. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right. So when we flow through our sun A twice, I'm going to do our chaturangas off the knees this time. So feel free to join me there. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, walk or lightly hop forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. So if you're going to stay off your knees, same action, shift forward, shift forward. Keep your elbows in, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog, open your chest. And exhale, downward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Good. Last one. Inhale, gaze forward. And exhale, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, chaturanga dandasana. On or off your knees. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So let's either drop to child's pose or puppy pose, your choice. So for both, bring your knees maybe outer hip width. For puppy pose, keep your hips over knees. Drop your chest all the way down. Straighten your arms forward. Option 1, drop your forehead down. And option 2, drop your chin down. Stretch out the shoulders. Open up the chest. Good. Inhale, tabletop. And let's go ahead and have a seat either on your heels or on your sit bone. Okay. Place your right hand behind your neck. Left hand underneath for your cow face bind. Either just grab onto your shirt, hands behind your back, or interlace your fingers. So if you've been practicing for a while or you started practicing before your pregnancy, I want you to take notice of how your chaturangas feel. At least for me, my upper body strength has decreased just slightly, maybe a little bit more than slightly. So just taking that notice. Again, it's totally normal to feel out of breath easily, or at least more easily. And then maybe losing the strength just a little bit. Okay, other side. Go ahead and roll out the shoulders. Yeah, chaturangas definitely feel different for me. Feel free to close your eyes here. Feel the stretch. Good. All right. So release your hands, roll out the shoulders. Let's come into downward facing dog. From your down dog, drop to your forearms for dolphin pose. You could walk your forearms closer towards your feet. Maybe walk your feet away. Find that nice distance to keep your spine long and the back of your legs long. You could always bend your knees. If your shoulders are super tight or super weak, you'll notice you're dumping into the shoulders. I want you to really focus on pushing the floor away. Lifting the chest up away from the floor. Breathing here. At any time this becomes too much for your shoulders, you could drop back to child's pose. One more breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, let's drop into child's pose. Awesome. Wrap your right arm underneath your left armpit. Relax your right cheek. Thread the needle. Other side. Good. Let's come back to child's pose and let's have a seat. All right, so let's take our double pigeon. If you rather take half pigeon, feel free to take that. Let's bring your right shin bone on top of the left first. You can sit on a block or two, or place a block underneath your right knee. Flex your feet. Layer one, sit up tall. Feel a nice opening through your outer glutes, your hips. If you like to get deeper, hinging from your hips, lower down, either halfway or as low as you need. Again, anytime you're in your second or third trimester, I encourage you to keep the chest lifted so you invite a lot of space in the front side of your body. Keep both sit bones grounded. Inhale, slowly rise. Plant your right foot. Bend your left knee a little bit more. And either twist to your right, if that feels okay for your stomach. Otherwise, you could twist to the left to invite more space for your baby. So again, it really depends how far along you are in your trimester. What feels good for me might not feel good for you, and vice versa. So always listen to what your body needs. Good. Slowly release the legs And let's take double pitch on the other side. Again, you could take your half pigeon. We'll hold here and breathe for 5 breaths. Good. Slowly rise. Bend your right knee even more. Plant your left foot. And take your twist. Good. Slowly release. Plant your feet hip width and sway it out. Good. Let's lower down onto our backs. This is too much for you. You could take your fetal position and stay and take your Shavasana early. Otherwise, let's come into our happy baby pose. Stack your ankles directly over your knees. Keep your tailbone down. Feel free to rock side to side. Good. Feel free to straighten out one leg, maybe 2 legs at a time. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Supta Baddha Konasana. Keep pointing your knees out. Good. Just drop your left knee and hug your right knee towards your right armpit and cross your right knee over your body. So don't cross too deep, especially if you're in your 3rd trimester. Rather than opening up the spine so much and the hips, focus more on opening up the right shoulder here. Good. Other side. Left knee into the left armpit area and cross it over. Okay, come back to center. All right, if you're already in your fetal position, your Shavasana, stay there. You can lie on your back for your Shavasana. Whatever you need. I invite you to stay here for a few rounds of breath. This time you can let go of your breath and breathe naturally. Soaking your practice, letting the day go, letting the practice go. Just simply being present. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'll see you guys next time. Namaste.